Okay, we're here. I've accumulated what I think is all the gene traits in this game. I did already record this. This is like probably like my fourth take here, but I'm like I want to keep it as fast as possible for you guys, just so that you guys can skim through this video. But I've got pretty much what I think is a majority. There might be some that are still like lurking that I may have missed. I've spent like a good hour looking for all these, like an idiot. But here it is. I looked on YouTube trying to explain this trait stuff, and I found nothing. So I just thought if I need to document it for myself, send it to my tribe mates, something like that. It should be noted that with this trait gun, people who don't have the DLC, they can't use it. So take that into account, guys. Obviously, it sucks that this DLC, this I feel like is game changing. These traits is incredibly game changing. They're locking it behind a paywall, so that's kind of awful. But I mean, for me, I think this is a cool addition. Obviously, it sucks that it's part of the DLC though. So frail weight gene, so it will prioritize the parent stat that is lower. So frail and robust, obviously you want to get corresponding stats. So robust means it's more likely to inherit the higher stats to its parent's stamina. And then there's also mutable. There's a mutable stat as well that's stat based. So melee mutable, and it just means that the baby, their offspring will, I think their offspring is more likely to be mutable, I think, or the embryo. I haven't done any testing for these traits, but that's just my theory so far. Carcass bearing I thought initially was about meat, but I think it's about drag weight, because there is just meat bearing traits. Reduces the weight of carcasses in this inventory. Might be involving kite and hide, I'm not sure. Quick hitting, this will be kind of crazy. I don't know what application of dinosaur I can think of right now, but maybe a Carno, like that's the only dino I can think of that has good knockback. But a dino, obviously, with this, it'll be less damage, but you can constantly chain together the knockback. So I feel like you can do some really cool stuff with this ability. Cowardly, creature gets faster when attacked. There is an opposite stat which, when you deal damage, you get faster as well. So I imagine that blending these two abilities together would make you like pretty crazy. As long as you're chaining together dinosaurs that are attacking you and killing you, you can make distance. This one's also pretty neat. Athletic. Cold is self-explanatory. There is also the corresponding warm version. Just protects the rider of the weather condition. Excitable. I'm not sure what this one means entails entirely, but for the most part, from what I can understand, it's like if you just mix up their attack. So if you do like if you're on a whiv and you just bite melee, and then flame, maybe the flame will be more powerful. Or if it's just corresponding melee and it just gets more powerful as you go, I'm not sure. Kingslaying, this is a bit niche, like not niche, it's a bit ambiguous on what it does. My perception here is that you probably just deal more damage to more higher end enemies and maybe less damage to weak enemies. I'm not sure, I haven't done any testing yet. I've just taken these genes and reading what the game's giving us. Mutable, this is what I was telling you about. The corresponding stat will be mutated, have a high chance of mutating. Also, I don't know what these tiers are either. I don't know if the one here, if you can get better variations, I have no idea, guys. This is just what I've pulled from wild creatures so far. And pretty much all our dinos that we've tamed up to now don't have these traits, so we have to go out and actually steal them off wild dinos. So that's actually kind of cool. I think that's neat. It's forcing players to actually go out and do some taming instead of just buying an egg off for another player. It's kind of cool. Exotic bearing, this is like the meat bearing and the carcass bearing, just less weight. I don't know what entails an exotic I don't know what entails as an exotic item, but that's there. Fatty is pretty cool. Just less damage taken. Nocturnal, I have no idea what this entails. Maybe more stamina, less stamina. I mean, like more stamina, like not more stamina, like but less. Whatever. I can't articulate my words right now, but I'm assuming it just means that you experience less stamina loss or something. Or something. Got to do something with the stats. Nocturnal, there's obviously the opposite version too. Frenetic, this one seems useless. Slow metabolism, that one's kinda okay. It would be handy on like a low food dino. Maybe even babies. Heavy hitting, this is the opposite of the other quick hitting, less attack. Aggressive. This is what I was talking about, pairing it with cowardly. That'd be kind of crazy. Get both speed boosts. Heavy hitting. We already had that one in here. Meat bearing, of course. The opposite of nocturnal. Warm, opposite of cold. Distracting. This one seems like it's like going to be crazy for boss fights. This one is also pretty rare. I should note that this stat was hard to find. Numb as well. Crazy. This one was quite rare too. All these bottom ones actually, because I found them like near the end. High endurance. This one seems pretty handy. It was pretty rare. Angry. That one's kind of okay. I couldn't see very many applications. It just depends on percentages and how much it's actually going to influence the dino's melee. Protective is kind of neat. I don't feel like you'd find much application for it outside of like redwoods where stuff can knock you off your dino, but it's neat, I guess. Tenacious. I think it's similar to Angry. It just damage reduction as your health goes. That's kind of useful. And this one's probably my favorite, Vampiric. Like, look at that, recovers health equal to the percentage of damage it deals. And that one is also I think that one was the hardest to find out of all of them. But yeah, that's all I've found so far. As you can see there on the right there, that's all I've found so far. There could be more, but this I think is a pretty good coverage of what's out there. So I think this is a pretty neat feature to the game, because each dino can, I think, have 5 traits. I think. I couldn't figure out how to. This gun tells you that you can track other dinos with it, but I haven't been able to figure it out. So if anyone knows, let me know how to utilize that. But otherwise, yeah, that should be all the traits for now, guys. And yeah,